Hey, it's Ross Bain with Role-Playing Radio. This is Eclipse Phase, the 8th C. This is part 2 of Pennies for Your Morph, the first player character score. So, Aaron, as I explained last night, to give sort of a little brief overview of the adventure, Aaron gave me a lot of different material to work with, and nobody gave me rumors to work with, so I took my own little spin on it. But this became basically the same. Well, I mean, in the last session, the 8th C helped smuggle some stuff into space, and they met up with Meredith and went into business with her. As she was actually lying a little bit about her research. She wasn't finding a way to make morphs cheaper. She was actually designing a new type of morph, a human-plant hybrid morph called the Gaia morph, which could be used to seed planets and restart exoplanet colonies or reclaim Earth if to get rid of those nasty titans. But the half of your team set up a business to help smuggle materials for that. So that is a profitable side business that you will keep going. And two of the player characters, Shayu and Dez, fork themselves to be the couriers. And then they, of course, lured in a group of ex-human space pirates to kill them and take their spaceship because they need a spaceship. So,
yes,
turned into a fight.
It was a thing.
It was a thing. Lawrence nearly died for the second time that night. So,
I don't know what
adventure. Yeah, because it was actually several days later. But yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your Octomorph, almost. Yep, it's fine. But meanwhile, while that's going on, Shinta, the person you made contact with, essentially said, I will pay, if you smuggle my materials into space for me to this habitat, I will pay you by giving you information about where these pennies are, which are rare Earth artifacts. And so you just have a traditional score. So as it begins, you are in Bao's Shanghai. You have just been given the location. The Earth pennies, apparently, Meredith's Beckett, the morph designer, her house was raided, and one of her associates, her secret associates, another scientist named Shinta, claims that a gang, the Ghouls, raided her house. Meredith, activated the kill switch to make sure she couldn't be captured, and because Shinta already had a backup of Meredith. But Shinta speculates that Skinsthesia hired the Ghouls in order to, because they suspected Meredith of withholding research and wanted plausible, deniable assets in case they got caught, because this was a very public raid, because it was at a house during, an apartment in the middle of the day, essentially.
And given the fact to get psychosurgery and possibly pull information from her, so.
Yeah, so that sort of blatant stuff is a little frowned upon for corporations, but if you're, criminal pawns do it, that's fine. It's very bad, but those are criminals. Ugh, totally not connected to corporation. Anyways, Lagul also took the pennies, because they were there and they're valuable. They are rare. They were rare and valuable even before the fall, but they're steel wheat pennies. Yeah.
I thought about trying to identify a year on those, but I didn't
Yeah. So they're definitely not they're not the most valuable Earth artifacts, obviously, but these are buy a custom morph per penny, hundreds of thousands of credits. Now, the problem is the ghouls are holding them right now. You have the location of the safe house. Shinta explains in a little briefing that she sends you. She's up in an orbital space elevator when you're doing this, because the rest of your group is smuggling her to the space station that she wants to go to. But somehow Lawrence is here too.
I got back.
You got back. It's fine.
I left the stove on.
Yeah. So Lawrence, SAIROC, Zemo, and Nil are there to steal it. So it's being held by Rutger, the Ghoul's enforcer. Is seen. Now, the problem with the pennies, though, Lagul's obviously is not really connected in the Earth artifact smuggling game, so they're going to have to find a buyer. So you have to sit on it for a while. This is why you get there, and why you speculate why they would still be there. The other problem is Meredith actually did a bit of double dealing. She actually used these pennies as collateral for a loan she took out from the 14K triads. So the 14K triads are currently looking for these pennies because they are owed a lot of money, and they definitely heard that Meredith is, dead and missing, and so they're really pissed too. So they're on the lookout for these pennies. And the thing is, you want the pennies themselves. You could get a small payoff if you just tell the triads where they are, but that's chump change compared to
what these actually will pull in.
Yeah.
So.
And you're criminals. You're not here.
Pennies on the dollar.
Hey, there we go.
Pennies on the red.
It's $1.
What's your music again?
It's like I have a Cthulhuoid pirate named Tentacle Beard.
Typical beard pops in. $1 is an anachronistic form of currency, often made of actual paper.
What?
Many countries
also
use
this particular entertainer.
That's a common misconception. Dollar is also a name, and then goes off on. Oh wait, I should stop wiki browsing that way.
Like no, keep wiki browsing.
Okay.
It's like
5 hours later.
I was like, so
No, it's more like image there. Spam is a artificial food. Blah blah blah. Anyways, it goes
like,
on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
John and Dale, that could be an interesting.
Megalomania, the most popular song of 2083, started originally as.
I was like, spam, early Earth artificial food. I could use that in recipes.
So, the location. It's in a nicer part of Bao's New Shanghai. Not the most ritzy area, but sort of like an upper middle class area. So, like the equivalent of the Martian dome equivalent of condos and fancy malls outdoor malls that you walk through. Kind of boutique stores and sort of things. So people who these are all hyper. This is mostly populated by the middle management of hyper elite, hyper corps,
The managers.
Yeah. Well, not the really
Mid-level
You know
executives.
what I meant?
not executives, but managers, like people who are overseeing indentured workers and that kind of thing. So, people with a bit of money, but like
Supervisors.
but yeah, supervised, not like the actual executives, the people who have real money. So that means they have security, actual security. They have an actual surveillance network with people watching it, infomorphs that are just watching all the cameras 24/7. They're going to be scanning you for weapons if you go in, that kind of thing. So Lagules is obviously, Rutger is relying on that to keep him safe because... it's not impregnable by any means, but this is definitely more subtle. If you go in with guns blazing, or even with
no guns blazing. Let me tell you about the week I've had.
No.
Actually, you know what? We'll say this takes place after that, so you already know all that. You just got back to Earth. The other group were taking time off.
You mean Mars?
Yeah, Mars. Sorry, yeah. You got back to Mars.
He went on Earth and then came back, and he went
because you guys have had this on stakeout for a while, and the pennies have not moved. You confirmed that they are in a safe house. You know the room. It's room 637, the 6th floor of the. Let's see here. Terra. The Tacoma Heights.
Tacoma Heights on Olympus, Mon.
No, you're not on Olympus.
I'm just using it as a highly.
Remember, Olympus is a port city that's crime-ridden and dirty and poor.
Oh, I know. So
you can't name things.
The Skipperelli Arms.
Okay.
No, it's Tacoma Heights.
Tacoma Heights.
All right, that's the name of the condo that he's in. The neighborhood, I'm not. It's New Pittsburgh or something like that.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the security that they've got. You said that there's infomorphs that are watching it constantly.
Yeah.
Subvertible?
Now, do you have any specialized knowledge skills like security ops or something like that?
I have security ops.
Well, I was going to purchase some with the res points from the last adventure.
Sure, you can do that now.
How many res points did we get?
1 res point gives you 5 skill points.
Okay.
Also, your muse has 1 knowledge skill, not 2. But if you haven't specified your knowledge skill for your muse, you can pop that in.
You can
give me security up. You can also give me other...
69 out of 70.
Nice.
Well, with the 69, he definitely knows the back door.
I hear your words, but I decline to respond to them.
So, basically, what if you want to get a path in and out, what you're wanting to make is what's called a dead zone map. It's a map of weak spots in the surveillance, and some that you create, and some that you make. Well, there's different ways to create it. You can bribe people, or you can infosec hack. Infosec hack ones are far riskier, but obviously you don't have to tell anybody.
Yes.
Bribing ones, because these are all going to be indentured people who are in Infomorphs. People who are re-sleeved after the fall, and this is what they have to, slave over this shit for years in order to get an actual meat body. So they're pretty fucking disgruntled.
And even that,
because they're watching people who actually have meat bodies, like, have a nice life.
Yeah.
Nice.
So in this case, for the Infomorph, right, are they sleeved, or are they put in like a symbol space too?
They're in a symbol space, basically, virtual control center.
Okay. Actually, to understand what they're doing right now, I do have symbol space design as a knowledge skill.
Okay.
To see if there's an exploitable weakness.
Sure.
So,
give me a roll.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have infosec really high.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 44 critical success.
Okay. Actually, that actually gives you a brilliant idea. You can actually, if you infosec the symbol space server, if you could create dead zones by manipulating the symbol space itself, because the symbol space is just used as sort of an environment for them to interface with the security cameras. Remember, security cameras are very small and they're embedded in everything. Imagine like cell phone cameras are in everything and all networked together to give 360 surveillance. Panopticon. It's easier to build things with sensors than without. It's cheaper to do that now. Everything's embedded sensors. So if you can hack the symbol space server, which will be less guarded, the exact model and the exploit to use. The only problem with the symbol space server is that it's going to be air gapped to a degree. So, like, you can't just wire. You're going to have to get to a restricted access point to access
and the plugin to do that.
So, yeah, okay. So it's a pretty sophisticated. So you have to if you can get physical access to it, you can compromise it and create a dead zone map. Now, the dead zone map, you can either have a wide area for a short period of time or a narrow area for a long period of time. But like, there's eventually error checking and shit like that, and like that eventually it would get discovered.
So we only have it would still be an unlimited time clock.
So basically, if you can figure out where this physical server is, get access to it, you can create a dead zone map to create a safe in and out for you.
Okay.
Now, that's the thing, is if you want to try and burgle this. Your second, of course, the other thing is to lure it away. You could contact Lagules, go undercover, and pose as a buyer. You don't know how they're looking for a buyer, but you could fake that. Or you could, like, convince them that a hit is imminent and they need to get the fuck out because the Triads found out where they are. And then, like, hit them on the way out, or lead them somewhere, or tell them to go somewhere else, which is like another problem you have to do is also, of course, you have to find a buyer for this shit, because and the Ghouls has been doing this for like a week now, and they haven't done it, and they have better connections than you, so you'll have to go.
They only think they have better connections than you, Ross.
So you'll have to do something sort of unusual in order to find a buyer without attracting the attention of the Triads. Because if you fuck up when trying to find a buyer, the Triads will certainly find you. Because they're certainly laying out traps for anyone trying to sell Earth artifacts, and they're looking to see who has the pennies. Okay. And if the Triads catch it, it's not going to be fun.
Okay. Well, something else that we can possibly try if we're going along the vertical route is doing a pose that's like as a potential buyer too, and then if we can manage it, doing a swap out with a possible fake. So at least long enough for them to not notice it, continue their negotiations, and once, as a potential bonus, once they fail at that, we can say, "Oh, hey, look, you wanted this, but we actually had the real artifact. We're the
people." Yeah, you actually have enough data on the pennies because Meredith is helping you because she's actually. You've set up a courier business for her morph smuggling scheme. So she will be happy to give you data on the pennies. So someone would need a hardware skill check to fab them, though. to fab perfect or near perfect forgeries.
If only we knew someone that had hardware skills.
If only.
I've got robotics for hardware. I don't have just standard
We
fabbing.
all took robotics. Everyone took robotics. Robotics is not going to help. I mean, you would do it at a negative 20.
Negative 30 because I still have my.
Well, we
psychosis.
could call in a favor of threat.
Oh, you still have your trauma?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have 8 points of stress.
You actually get a chance to heal that. So let's learn about that. Trauma.
I tried to read the book over the last week, but it is a big book.
Mental healing. All right.
It is a tome. It is a tome.
You can have. Let's see here. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can. For every month that passes without occurring, you could just. Well, you don't have a month of time.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, but you can have your muse do psychosurgery on you to heal you. Or does it have psychotherapy?
It has no psychology at 60 and medicine psychosurgery at 30.
Okay. So if it makes a successful check, which would be at full, it would heal 3 stress with a time frame of 1 hour. No, it would take 8 hours, but yeah, you'd have time to do that. So
Okay. So I can roll on psychosurgery?
Well, it's a muse, so I will do it for you.
Fair enough.
Because you don't get to spin on it because it's the muse. It's another character, essentially. Let's see here. Yeah, there are no therapy anymore. They used to have. Yeah. All right. So, how much stress have you lost?
I have 8 stress and 1 trauma.
Let's see here. All right. Go ahead and heal 6 stress and the trauma.
Okay.
Roll very well.
So, Ross, I have a couple of questions because I'm forming a plan.
Sure.
You said that these infosecs are working day and night trying to get to the point where they will be able to afford to meet Morph.
Yeah, that's years of work. I mean, they're basically working dead-end jobs.
So I have resources at level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Does that actually give me access to enough to purchase a cheap? It's on page 75 of the book.
Mm-hmm.
It says at level 2 I can spend up to 3 gear points per week on minor or moderate complexity items given the appropriate time frame.
Well, you could get what's called a case morph, which is a cheap robot. You certainly can afford that. The problem is case morphs are shitty. So I would say you could not so that would be a bribe. It would not be a very good bribe, but it would be something.
Would it be enough that I could parlay it with perhaps a favor into a slightly better shitty morph?
Well, here's the thing. You're not only going to have to get them more... Well, you could get them... your 3 options are you could afford a case morph. That's the cheapest. You could also afford a basic pod morph, which is a robot with some meat over it. So it feels kind of human because they, have nerves and stuff like that. So human-like. And then you could get them a splicer morph. A splicer morph would be it. You wouldn't be able to afford anything else. But with either one of the other 2 morphs, you'd also be able to afford to get them some kind of new identity. Because the problem is, if you give them a body and they suddenly have a body, it's going to look very... How do you hide? You can't really hide it from their boss. And so they're going to have to start a new life as someone else in order to keep their body, because otherwise someone clearly bribed them.
Clearly.
So if you want to get them the splicer and then you have to do something else to get them a new identity, that would be the best bribe, is to here's a new life you could walk into.
So that is what I propose as phase 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here is what I propose for phase 2. I think that... All right. Here's the overly circuitous plan, just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
and just cue the Ocean's 11 music as I say, gentlemen, let's steal some pennies.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing where we lure the group over to point A to discuss potentially selling the pennies to a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
While they are out,
Mm-hmm.
we have our newly turned
Mm-hmm.
infomorph basically loop the security while our stealth infiltration specialist slips in,
Mm-hmm.
replaces the real pennies with the fake pennies that we've had fabbed up,
Mm-hmm.
and then slips right back out.
Okay.
Then, when the group returns to their base to retrieve the pennies to bring them to their buyer,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not going to bring them on the initial.
No.
They're just simply going to show a loop of the security video footage and say, hey, look what we've got.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're meeting with the buyer,
Mm-hmm.
played by our face man,
Mm-hmm.
that's when an anonymous tip called into the Triads gets the building raided
Mm-hmm.
for the pennies.
Okay.
So they get the pennies stolen by the Triads. The Triads think that they have the real deal, but they've actually got the fakes.
Uh-huh.
We get the real deal. No one's the wiser. The only person that would be able to confirm that we actually broke in is this infomorph who is now in this splicer body that we have provided, who is now John Smith.
Okay. The only problem with that,
Smith.
I will say you've been watching Tacoma Heights for a while. As far as you can tell, Rutger, the Lagul's enforcer, guarding it, has not left the apartment with him at all. So he is clearly not the one negotiating. He is simply guarding the pennies. So
whoever is out there is either not.
did any of you deal with Rutger last time with the mini missiles, shooting the missiles at the people? No, that was the other group.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's.
You know of him. So that can work. You just have to figure out a way to lure Rutger out to make the swap, to get the pennies. So if you can build a profile on Rutger, you can figure out what makes him tick and what would lure him out without the pennies.
Let's see if I can do that.
Okay.
Is that kinesics?
Well, you'd have to, in order to that, you have to get eyes on him and study him for a while. You don't have eyes on him directly. You know he's gone in there, and you've indirectly used various sensors and things to know that he's in there.
You want me to sneak in and just try to put some cameras so we can actually look inside?
Yeah, you could try that.
Another possible option too is there any point at which he has left the facility to go out or do other things?
As far as you know, he's not left the building. You do not have perfect surveillance on the building yet, so he may have moved around inside the building.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Get me in with a bunch of little mini cameras. I'll start posting them around the building.
Okay, yeah, you can get cameras. That's easy. Tiny little bugs.
Are there any vacant penthouses in Tacoma Heights?
Give me a research roll.
That'll be a fail.
Okay.
I guess we.
It's actually not listed publicly, so someone else can try research.
I'll try.
Okay.
Did they do? I have
32. Yes.
Tacoma Heights has various contracts with hypercorp workers. They don't offer it to the public.
It's kind of it's kind of like a reward for advancing to supervisor level.
Something like that, yeah. It obviously offers better security because it's not open to the public. You have to have a membership to get in. So
that's hypercorp, say.
Yeah, various hypercorps. It's there's as far as with the 32, you know of at least 4 different companies that have workers there.
Would that be a C-rep role to see if I can call in a favor and get us a...
Minor one would get you a tour of it. A moderate one would get you a room for a couple of days.
So having a staging area, and that probably would not be a bad idea. Although
that's kind of what I was thinking.
That could draw suspicion on us, though.
It would definitely.
Unless we had a legit...
remember, you go in there, they're going to be watching you, too. So they're building up information on you. So, yeah, sorry.
Also, my favors have replenished from the last heist.
The minor ones definitely did. The moderate one... Yeah, the moderate did.
Okay.
No, majors have not.
So,
I have not done
we have a
major.
couple of those. Although, if we do have the room and we have access to Rutger that way...
Mm-hmm.
I can do a deep scan on him to get at least some information.
If you get close enough to him, yeah.
So, yeah.
So I kind of want to get the room.
Mm-hmm.
And
apartment, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, and knowing that the apartment is going to be under surveillance actually plays very highly into the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we get it, and we're not going in as 8th C, obviously. We're going to be going in as the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be going in as the face of the potential buyers. That's it actually builds the disguise.
Do you have does anybody have knowledge black markets or anything?
I do too.
All right, can you give me a knowledge black market check real quick?
That is a 28 out of...
Is that in black markets or?
Yes.
Okay, that works.
Out of 40.
All right. With that, if you actually Legools is not telling people where this is. No one they keep that information secret. So if you show up as claiming to be the potential buyer for the pennies, you would be basically making you're trying to intimidate them. Like, we know where the fucking pennies are, sell them to us. So, and the ghouls are a very scary gang, and you're trying to scare them. So you have to go be really fucking ready to, absolutely cold-blooded killer if you do that move, which can work very well because obviously they're eager to sell them. But that's the kind of persona you would want to do if you want to make that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
It does.
So you could basically, you could, for example, you could portray yourself as ex-humans who want it for some various obscure, or cultists. They're crazy, you're brinkers, people who live out in an isolated habitat in the outer system and only come in for specific reasons. So you're fucking weird and have weird habits. You're survival. Maybe you're a true American survivalist militia, and you just came out of your bunker to get a source of real freedom. Like the spirit of America called us to get them pennies, get the Abe Lincoln. So if you're
just out before the desert.
So if you're a religious fanatic, they'd be like, oh, so that's why you found us already. Okay, sure. Yeah. So that could be a play. Or you'd be like,
I like that.
Or a Hannibal Lecter collector of things. Yes, I must have it for my collection. So some sort of scary person.
The only
done
concern,
and done.
Okay.
Well, the only possible issue I have with that is that, again, if something goes wrong, that might inevitably lead into
it's big risk, big reward.
Big risk, big reward. So, which coming in mainly as a potential idiotic buyer that somebody else led them into this, but we look as much as we look like we're less.
I can be a scary idiot, Aaron.
Yeah.
I can be a very scary idiot.
Sorry.
That's okay. But we look like we're going to be less prepared for a fight. But one way or the other. So
success on the favors check.
All right. So, did you want to get that at a minor or moderate? Moderate. All right. So, what was your exact roll?
My exact roll was 38 out of 40.
38. So you get it for 5 days. So you have a room, you have membership privileges, so you can get it. How many people did you want it for? How many people are going to be listed as members?
4.
Okay, so 4 members. So all 4 of you. Let's see. You. I think
actually be one person named plus 3. I am bringing my.
You can't do that. Everyone has to be Everyone has to register their names.
But we can put pseudonyms or other things.
Well, you have to have a fake ID. I think everyone chose the firewall/criminal.
Yes.
So you have one fake ID. So you're John Smith. So that's your one fake ID. So you can list that obviously. So that's some random name generated type thing. So you have that. All 4 of you listed with your fake IDs. That could be a use of your gear next time is to get another fake ID.
As we burn this one.
Yeah, basically another part of Eclipse is actually creating multiple fake identities. So identity is very fluid in this world. This setting for various reasons.
Since when did that happen?
I actually picked up the basement, so I think I've got... May I take a look at the book yet again?
Yeah.
Sorry, the only one here who does not have the awesome hard copy or the laptop with it on. I am...
No worries.
Soon.
Yes, perhaps Santa will gift you one. So...
You could say that.
If the face gives you an additional fake identity, that's fine too. But everyone basically chooses the firewall/criminal starter pack except for Dan's character. So Dan's the only one without a fake ID. But he technically doesn't really have one because he's already in the legal alpha form. So he has one fake ID, but you guys have two IDs: your real ID and then your fake ID.
Okay.
So actually, page 2 of your character sheet has things to write down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
So-
I don't actually get one for the face/dealer. I get enhanced hearing, guardian angel,
Mhm.
a medium faber, a nano detector, a neuromodulation, smart hawk, and 5 doses of stiff.
Right, you get that, but you also get, if you go back to the previous page, you also get the firewall. Everyone gets the firewall or the gate crasher.
Yeah.
So you get 2 packs. Firewall or gate crasher.
That one does have a fake ID on it. But
So yeah. So you all have one fake ID. You're all listed on the thing. You have 5 days of access. If you want to guest, they have to check in, and then there's a nominal fee to let them in.
Okay.
Hypercorp. Everything's got a price. Obviously, no weapons are allowed.
obviously.
And yeah, it's pretty conservative. Uplifts and AGIs are allowed, but like if something happens,
we better be someone's servant.
yeah, well, I mean, you could. They don't ask you, but like, it's very clear by the rules that if anything happens, you're going to be the first to be blamed and the first to be dealt severely with. So, yeah. But your fake IDs don't have to say you're an AGI. You could say you're a person. So
He is a person. He is always been a
now, if you
person.
want to make a really scary fake persona to intimidate Laguls and pose as a buyer, you have to do some work to build that legend.
Yeah.
So which angle did you want to go for? The crazy militia or the Hannibal Lecter collector? The Lecter collector.
I like the Lecter Collector.
Okay.
I'm
So
going to be Suffer Not Injustice,
okay.
who is an uplift of some sort. Nobody knows exactly what I was before, but they know that I am some kind of animal. They know that I am a collector of old Earth artifacts, and I look for the strange.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the different things that I have gone for, according to my reputation,
Mm-hmm.
are little things like shinies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This
So-
particular shiny, that particular, like a magpie building his nest. Almost.
Okay, so in order to build that legend, you'll have to do some work. So you can call in favors to have people like plant stories in various news media and that kind of thing, or claim to remember this person, like backdate, basically forum posts and old space Twitter posts to like. So that would be favors. You can also do your own skill check. For example, you could hack various media servers to like plant stories that are old.
Would that be an infosec by chance?
Yeah, it could be an infosec check. Sure.
I'm going to start with. It's going to be layers upon layers, Ross. Layers upon layers.
Do you have any skill about storytelling though, or like crafting art or media or something like that? I know you have symbol space design, so you could use that. So first is planning, but you need the material to plan. So,
Yeah.
So you could give me a symbol space design to create a rich narrative. So you could create fake XPs and. Neil, did you have anything? You're an artist type, yeah?
I'm an artist. I have some FREP. I was going to call in some of that to
FREP would be perfect.
to start the rumor mill turning and reinforce that narrative. Hey, there's this new personality in the neighborhood. They've got very quirky tastes, but man, are they on the up and up.
What was the name that you were going for, Zemo?
Suffer Not Injustice.
Suffer Not Injustice. Okay, cool. So go ahead and give me an FREP favor. Are you doing that at moderate?
I think moderate.
Yeah.
I want this to track.
To stick, yeah.
It's not a success.
Well, you can flip it if you want.
Oh, yeah.
With
What's
Flex
gonna-
or Moxie.
Flex it is.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's not 5 then.
All right. And what'd you get on your symbol space?
I failed, but I'm going to flip it with a bit of with insight to make it a success.
Okay. What'd you get then?
It was 36.
36, so it's one superior success. All right, so so basically you create a symbol space to create a fake XP of like a story of like some evidence of what Suffer Not Injustice is a total fucking psycho.
He killed 3 men and stole a gum wrapper.
Actually, in this case, it was more than that. It was actually a pack of gum that was individually taken out, chewed, and then put back in there, so it contains the DNA of the morphs that actually came through with it. So
If we're leaning on the whole patriotic angle, why not a pack of Lucky Strikes?
Well, no, he's going for the crazy collector.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So not only does he have this rare earth artifact, he literally holds the lives of them in their old gum. So.
Okay, so it's a very violent scene of suffer not injustice, killing 3 people over this.
It's pulling the gum out of their mouth like somebody would have pulled teeth.
Okay,
I like that.
It's like you have tongs.
Yeah.
Just such a thing.
We'll say the people, the victims were all scumstorm people because only they'd be so decadent to eat gum or to chew on gum, from Earth, or something like that.
Are the citrus gums okay?
What are the ballast point? Yeah, try a ballast point. So this brought to you by Ballast Point. It's
All
beer.
right. It's fantastic.
You can drink it.
Is this the sour? Oh, it's the ghost egg. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a sour.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Also,
It's not this. This is obviously a citrus singer from Springfield Beer and Girl. Also beer.
forgot to tell you, I did spend a rest point
Mhm.
from last time, but increased my infiltrate to 95 because I can only increase that.
All right.
I can only spend 1 res point on a skill above 60 per week.
Very good. Yeah, thanks for keeping that in mind. All right,
Yep.
so you have the symbol space story. You have the favors from Ephraim planning the story. So you're building up a decent legend.
Now, I rolled a 67 out of 70 on my infosec to put them in the right
Oh, yeah.
places.
It's an opposed check, so. Yep. You get in very easily. You got admin access. So, yeah.
And, what I was going to say is, since I really want this to fit, since I really want it to stick, since I got a 67 out of 70, I believe that puts it into a pretty high success rate.
Yeah, it's double superior. So
Can I make it a double superior critical by spending
you can't.
Foxy Fate Will?
Nope. Criticals are can't.
They're rolled.
They're only rolled. So
Okay.
you can't do any better than you can without making a critical. You can only roll criticals. But yeah, that is a valid question, and I'm glad you asked. So you're making some progress. So you'll have that would probably be the bare minimum you would to be credible. So you could make a go for it, or you could, of course, do extra credit. So
I do want to do some extra credit, but I also want to use my other identity, the
Your
Zemo identity that I've had for the longest time.
That's the one your actual rep scores are in. So.
Yes, to schmooze the infosec that we're going to bribe.
Okay, so one question about that. So the indentured worker. So you know that there's actually multiple companies running this neighborhood. One of them, the biggest one, is New Pittsburgh Inc., and they're the ones that run the actual dome, this neighborhood, the life support infrastructure, the surveillance. So they're the biggest one. And so if you get an insider, basically someone on the inside with this scheme, you would have access to all the surveillance networks yourself, and you'd be able to block them out yourself. You'd have somebody helping you outside of all the buildings. Or you could choose Tacoma Heights and get someone for your building. But outside the building, you're going to have to be not suspicious, walk casually, essentially. So, you could get 2 insiders, but, you don't really have enough resources to get 2 morphs unless you fucking kidnap somebody. You erase somebody. Yeah, if you want to be that kind of cold-blooded. So you have so you're trying to get the splice morph, so you need to build a new life for this person. The easiest way to do that is to infiltrate essentially a DMV or a planetary consortium server bank and plant in some info to give this person a new life. It's not going to be a great life, but they'll have clean credit and shit like that. So,
And also they can breathe air.
yeah, because they'll be in a splicer body.
Yeah.
And then for a newish start.
So I won't have you make a roll to assemble that data. Here's what John Smith is, and here's his background, and here's his credit rating, and all this other shit. The main thing is you have to infiltrate a hardened place. Not super hardened. Basically, it's like the DMV or the birth record. The county hall.
Do that with infosec or?
No, you have to physically get in because these in order to. Basically, this is the database that all the other ones are referring to. And if you plant it there, then it'll perpetuate throughout the entire city.
Yeah.
Lawrence?
So we're stealing a body.
Well, no, you already have a body. You're creating a new person.
Okay.
You're creating a new counterfeit driver's license, birth certificate, credit rating.
Yeah.
Well, look, I've got the body right here. and all we need to do is slap a label on it. We're having Lawrence infiltrate that building to put a label onto this box.
So it's going to be a really shitty poor life because that's going to be the suspect. It'll be someone you basically like, hi, I'm John Smith. I had a really good life insurance policy and a bank account, and then I was restored from backup. So I have a bunch of money that's burning interest for the last 10 years. So I don't have to be a poor worker in a shitty robot body. I have a meat body. I don't have any money now, but I have a real body. Yay!
I'm a real boy now.
Yeah, I'm a real boy.
So the question that I have for the group is, which infomorph do you think that I should schmooze? The one that is running the building, or one of the ones running the dome? Which one do you think is going to be more useful?
Running the building, because we need the ones to be able to create at least create and monitor blind spots.
It also gives you information on Rutger, because you can access Rutger's apartment and get data on that. Also the records.
And if he's moving around, maybe find a time where we can be near him, so I can deep scan.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, Lawrence, you want to be a sneak thief. This is your sneak thief special.
What? Wait, when have I ever... Oh, yeah, I do that.
Yeah, you do that.
Yes. Put down the sushi knife for a moment.
So, give me a security ops roll to figure out your best plan of entry and everything.
24.
Okay, because you're an Octomorph, you can get in through those maintenance droid tunnels, which are basically, remember, every building has little small tunnels for maintenance droids.
Excuse me, like us invertebrates are planning real work here.
So, you'll basically have to make 3 opposed infosec checks. 1 to defeat the entry sensors, like the sensors guarding the entry gate. Then 2, the local grid, and then 3, the server itself. And then, of course, while you're doing that, you'll have to dodge autonomous drones and security guards.
Mm-hmm.
So first you have to get in, so that's going to be an opposed check.
Sneak?
Yeah, and at this point, everyone... first give me infiltrate, because you have to hard link to this. So give me infiltrate.
92.
Does that succeed?
It does.
All right. You get close to it. There are Guardian Angel drones flying overhead with submachine guns, and you're pretty sure they would open fire on you if they...
I just have a brief Vietnam flashback to guys with submachine guns.
Yeah, like a week ago. Yeah. It sucked. Those bullets hurt.
Thank you, Medicines.
Yeah. By the way, actually, I totally forgot. If you have Medicines, you actually get to ignore 1 wound penalty.
Well, we forgot. It's fine.
Yeah. You can also get a trait called Pain Tolerance that lets you ignore another.
Yeah. Well,
you can ignore up to 3 wounds.
To be fine, I had fun. I had fun playing Lawrence High.
Yeah. So, you had enough wounds that you still would have needed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, everyone else can assist with this infosec. Neil, you have an infosec, right?
I do.
Okay. Does anybody else have infosec?
I do. Yes.
Okay, so all 3
We have a lot of hackers.
Yeah,
Okay, so get a plus 30 to your infosec.
Oh, that'd only make it 110.
Okay. This is brute force, so negative 30.
Sure.
You can't stay here for an hour and do a subtle hack. What'd you get?
31.
31. Well, they got a 71 out of 70, so...
Oopsie daisy for them.
So even if I flipped it, it wouldn't matter.
Nope.
So you defeat the local sensors. You manage to infiltrate through the little tunnel. It's very small, only a few inches. At that point, is anybody else going to do anything to make it easier for Lawrence? Obviously, causing a distracting, because they have their own infomorph security monitors and that kind of thing.
They can do that. Are there any other people who are actually... is there a front desk right now?
It's a planetary consortium administration building.
Okay, so that they're...
the city town, the town hall.
Maybe someone could get on one of the cameras like, hey, I saw some vermin in my room.
No. Actually, I've got it.
Well, this is not anywhere near Tacoma Heights. This is like an administration building.
Yeah.
So.
I was thinking that it might be a new chance to take out, or it might be a good chance to try on the new face.
Oh yeah, you can cause incidents with suffer not justice. Is it justice or injustice?
Suffer not injustice.
Injustice.
Okay.
Let me write that down.
If I were to make a bit of a scene, not something illegal, but something that is definitely falls under the scary motif, I think that I can distract by pulling a... would you call this one a deceive?
It's provoke to scare people.
Provoke it is. Works the same way, yeah.
Yeah. Now, who are you targeting? Are you targeting some random civilian right out front of the building? Or are you actually going to go up to, like, a worker who's trying to enter? Or are you going to, like, go to an actual guard and cause a scene? Like,
a worker who is trying to enter.
Okay. Sure.
Very, very brief infosec to just get the name.
Oh, no, that's public. You can just see it.
Okay.
I forgot to generate some random names. So let me Google that real quickly. Random name generator is already on my frequently used Google links. It's David Escobar.
Hello, David.
Do I know you?
You should.
What?
Escobar.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Descended from the Escobar?
There are many Escobars?
Yes, there are.
Uh-huh.
But I think you know who I'm talking about.
No? Oh, wait. He's kind of...
Do you not know your old
there's the Pablo Escobar?
Yes. I need to shake your hand, sir. Bearskin contact, if you please.
Are you going to provoke?
52 out of 55.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Okay,
it's
guard.
been very lovely to meet you.
Okay. Two guards come over. They're in security pod morphs. Again, basic, very RoboCop looking.
Door move, creep.
And they kind of are, yeah, basically it's like, why are you harassing this person?
What makes you think I'm harassing this person? I simply asked his name and shook his hand.
Oh.
Does that qualify as harassment in civilized society?
Okay. Now, thanks to Neil's FREP things, this is actually becoming a viral thing. Like, look, what the fuck is this guy doing? What's he doing? So there's already a viral discussion on, Mars Twitter. And yeah, are you going to escalate further, or are you?
I'm going to be nothing but polite and pleasant to them. Polite and pleasant with an edge. What is your name, Mr. Guard?
They just have They just have batch numbers as their assigned ID.
They've taken away your name.
I'm working.
Given you a number.
I'm working. I don't.
Secret
my name is
Agent Man. The classic Johnny Rivers song.
This is Planetarium Consortium territory or land. Please step back onto the public grid street, or you will be fined for trespassing. You have 10 seconds to comply.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk away.
Okay. All right. So that was
taking David Escobar's hand on.
All right. So everyone in the security apparatus for this building is now like, what the fuck? And there's a lot of
walk to the public land, stand right on it, and stare at the building. Just stare at it.
Okay. So distracting, not like overwhelming, but definitely distracting. So Tom, you can get a negative. You can apply a negative 10 penalty to one opposed check from the NPCs. You can just call that in whenever you want. So. Okay. The next thing, before you infiltrate, you get to the next server, you're going to have to cross a room. And this room has a lot of, sir, that you, of course, give me, first give me a perception check, see if you can notice all the things.
Oh, we get to see Octopus dance through the laser
35,
grid?
Yeah. All right, so you notice, there's a lot of sensors. There's actually some traps, like electrified floors and things.
Jesus.
But there are people walking on them, so they turn off. They're smart. Great.
Smart, yeah.
So you'll have to make an opposed infiltrate check. You will be at a negative 20 because it's not a lot of you can maneuver pretty well, but
so that'll only put me at 105 then.
Okay. But their base skill is 8, so to detect you. So it's an opposed roll again.
All right. I'm going to flip that to 90.
Okay. I got a 66.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yep. You didn't have to. You don't have to spend that point. So I'm not going to say it's an instant fail, but they clearly know something's up, and they go into a guard mode. So the best way to do this is to give them something fake or create some sort of other reason to justify. They haven't quite pinpointed you yet, but they know something is wrong. You realize you must have accidentally put a little too much weight on one of the floors or someplace to activate some sort of weight pressure sensor or something like that. It's a very minor mistake, but again, it's a secure place. But because they were distracted, they didn't nail you quite yet. So, in order to escape, you either need to evade and go back the way you come and start over with another point of entry, or you need to do something. Do you have any equipment that could help you in this circumstance? Something you could use as a distraction?
Can we spend a point of flex to help Tom on this one?
Oh yeah. Or you could use suspicion rating to create some sort of advantageous element. So for flex, again, that is define something about the environment, introduce an item, introduce NPC, or define a relationship. Relationship's probably not going to help because you don't know who these people are exactly.
I do think item/NPC fits.
Mm-hmm.
Or defining something.
This is the right moment. Release the rats.
You could have cyber rats. Yeah, sure. You could,
or Martian vermin of some kind.
No, they're smart animals. They're basically like Terminators, but animal sized.
Squeak, squeak.
Mm-hmm. They're cyber rats. They're a piece of gear.
Squeak! I tell you, squeak.
Who's spending the point of flex?
I will spend it.
Okay.
But just for the sake of, since I'm standing out in the middle of the street, it makes more sense for someone else to be the one to just go, rats.
Well, you can just remote control them. They have little robot brains, basically.
Okay.
So you send a smart cyber rat in, and they instantly just annihilate it. The guard just turns over and shoots it with a laser beam.
Sizzle.
But you can make another infiltrate check.
62.
That beats the 18.
All
right, so you get past that room.
Crawling. You guys are way too fucking intense.
They're the space DMV. What did you expect?
All right, so you get access to the second security system you have to hack. So this is InfoSec. You got a 37.
41.
41. Woof.
Yeah.
Barely. So you get in. Actually, I'll say you have time to do a subtle intrusion because you're just sitting there. And you manage to...
I'm really good at hanging in place when I need to.
So you manage to slowly program it and get in. So now you're in the server room itself, but there's lots of guards. And there's lots of security systems. So in order to ninja your way in, you'll have to beat a 90. Well, it's an opposed roll. They have a 90 surveillance perception, essentially, with all their systems all tech integrated. Now, I'll apply that negative 10 penalty from the distraction from Zemo, as they're kind of watching the server room on one screen, and then the other screen they're watching the street, and talking about it.
And smart animal videos over there.
Yeah, they're like, well, obviously that was someone who's scouting this place out with a cyber rat, and that's clearly distraction to, we dealt with it. Good job, guys.
They're watching mesh videos of smart animals. Look this.
They can't access the mesh. They take their job seriously, Tom.
Sure.
All right, make an infiltrate check. You're at a negative 20 again.
All right.
Actually, no, negative 30.
So 95.
Oof.
64.
Got an 89. Let's see. But that's a regular success. So if you spend a point of vigor, you could upgrade that to another critical success or another superior.
I'll do that.
Okay. So you don't get caught, but you can't get to the server yet. They've cut off they're physically blocking the way. So someone else is going to have to cause a distraction. And they've blocked off the route that the first cyber rat got. So,
you guys got anything else?
I've got a fixer swarm, ostensibly designed to repair things, but could I send them in little flying robots to to mess something up?
Sure. Spend a point of flex. I'll say they're very slow, so if you spend a point of flex, I'll say you've got that in ahead of time.
Okay, we'll do.
So let's see. What skill do you want to use to have them go havoc? If you have programming, that would work.
Program is perfect.
All right.
So,
Okay, now we've tried giving them the rat. Now
Success,
it's time
59.
Sorry.
something else I could do. I'll wait until to see how much of a distraction this causes for him. So if it's something more, I have something wings that I can use. So.
Okay. 59 does cause a brief distraction as the Fixer Swarm begins fixing things improperly, causing a lot of alarms. You have to cut feed instantly because they start counter hacking it. But you program them, so you actually aren't connected to them at all. But
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Me? Yes.
Okay. So you do notice that they have fucked up, or that they are clearly responding to some sort of threat over there. That must be the Fixer Swarm that Nil planted in earlier, so you have a new chance to get in. And their thing is only going to be 70% now because they're extremely distracted by the swarm inside. So go ahead and give me another roll.
58.
All right, that beats your 25.
All right.
So you have access now.
Slip down.
It's your last infosec check. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to spend a point of flex to give me a plus 20.
All right. This is a opposed hacking check.
So, okay. 67.
They failed outright. They rolled a 94. So
All right.
you get in. With that, you're very stealthy. You're very subtle. And you did enough research on this. You just plant the data. So you've created a new person whose name is, unless you give me something else, is Zach Malloy. So,
That's fine.
All right.
I do love Zachary Malloy. That works.
So Zach Malloy, again, is a legit registered splicer morph because he had a windfall and spent it on that, but otherwise has very little money, so you don't actually give this person any money, but is free and legally and owes no debts to anybody. So
ZM.
And in
It's
a
got a
living
nice ring to
body.
it, doesn't it, Zemo?
Yes, it does.
and has a month at stay at a cheap apartment that actually has life support systems. So good for him.
And since we're doing, actually, since they're concentrating on that too, and to hopefully maybe buy us a little bit, maybe a little more information from him, just the base, could I do a morph design roll to see if I can find any particular improvements I can make for this guy on the cheap? For this
Sure,
splicer?
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Made it at 51, so.
Yeah, you can homebrew an enhanced cold tolerance, so you would be able to survive cold temperatures a lot better.
Okay, so at least getting something off, but
Mars
just
is pretty fucking cold.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you're basically splicing him with just enough Scandinavian.
Well, holder in this case, hey, I managed to figure
It's
out.
not a holder. Holders are much better.
I know.
Yeah.
No, a little bit of something I found off a disused holder.
So you give him that. Yeah, it's a very good. It's any indentured would jump at this opportunity. So you manage to get back out, and now you have your roll to exfiltrate. And the legend of suffer not injustice is a little stronger for it. So you can just give me a persuade check, and if you critically fail, though, it'll be hilarious.
That is actually a success.
Okay.
My persuade is 80, and I rolled a 71.
All right.
It's a superior success.
It is. So let's see here.
Cayenne Terry's.
Cayenne Parker, the infomorph indentured worker who died in the fall and has been working in Tacoma Heights for the last year to save up for a real body, is so eager to start over. They just want to. They're your insider. They give you they give you access to a VPN sort of link that you can all use to plug into the building yourself.
Just so that you know, for the purposes of this, your code name is going to be Pinocchio, and mine is Blue Fairy.
Okay. Sure.
So when we need you.
Yeah. All right. I like it. So you have your insider. With that, you're able to get a lot of data on Rutger and the building itself. So you can throw all kinds of analysis skills. So, Neil, do you have anything to analyze Rutger's habits or the security or anything like that? Because Cayenne only is trusted enough to do this, but like isn't like us. If Cayenne had incredible in hacking skills or security skills or anything, they wouldn't be working in this building.
Yeah.
So, if you have any kind of knowledge, skills, or hardware or anything like that that's applicable, or any of you actually, obviously security ops matters. So
that I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I could do infosec to try to read the digital security.
Well, infosec is
Hacking.
actually hacking. So,
if you want to, I can do a cryptography roll to analyze their encryption to see what
sure.
there's a
give me a cryptography roll. And you can actually get access to his encrypted messaging traffic, his mesh traffic. So, you could try and break that and sniff out, eavesdrop him talking to other members of the rules.
Yeah,
his tactic.
We've got eyes on the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could even do kinesics.
Oh yeah, you can do kinesics now.
Since if we've got eyes on him, I would also like to do kinesics.
I'm just going to watch.
I'm going to spend another piece of cog to flip that. So
by the way, what'd you get on your persuade check?
71.
71.
Out of
Okay.
80.
So basically, Cayenne will be with you, and if you don't give Cayenne the morph by the end of your stay there in 5 days, you probably get a sense Cayenne's going to rat you out. So you do have that. Cayenne really wants that body. So, but the longer you go, the more itchy they will be. So you get a free kinesics result. So that's sort of Cayenne is desperate. Let's see here. Cryptography, what'd you get?
I failed, but I flipped it with insight, so I have a 17 out of 50.
17, basic success. It's strong encryption, military grade. It's not quite the same that you use, but I mean, it's the same level of quality. So if you want to break it, you have to compromise its hardware. So you have to plant something, if you could get a nano, basically physically alter one of his machines, like his mesh inserts or something like that. So
if we had his passcode, we could automatically take care of that.
Yeah, but his passcode's inside his brain. He's not writing it down. He's not entering it on a keyboard.
Well, it's lucky enough that you have somebody who can actually read thoughts. So
if you could physically touch him, you could definitely.
Well, this one
he doesn't leave that.
Oh no, he's not physically touched. You just have to get him close.
I have to range, so touching would be great and would improve it, but that would be weird though. So.
No, actually, you can do it at close range. If you just get in the same room.
Yeah, which is what if somebody can give me.
I don't think you can do it through walls though. So
no,
now you what'd you get on kinesics? Actually, that does give you a new opportunity.
That's good. That's 50 under 55.
Okay, so you survey it. You keep watch of him. You go through time accelerated watching surveillance footage of him from the last week and a half. Sorry.
Is a 00 a good thing?
Yeah, it's a crit.
Okay, so I got a 00 on my kinesics.
Okay, so both of you are working together. He does leave the room occasionally. So Rutger actually spends a lot of time. Clearly, he is in symbol space or doing something else. He's just kind of zoned out. He does have several bots in the room that are not active on mesh traffic at all. Looks like he programmed them himself. And they are clearly armed with weapons, which is illegal. But he paid extra for privacy in his room, so no one's actually supposed to watch it. I mean, they still have the cameras in there, and Cayenne just turned them on so he could. Well, they keep the cameras running. They just don't look at the footage unless they're not supposed to look at the footage, but and normally no one cares. So in fact, they visually look like weapons to you, like things with barrels and that are pointy out. They look custom made. They look unusual. So you're guessing that they can withdraw into these robots, which are civilian type robots, and pop out. And you're not sure what they can do because none of you are hardware experts on guns. Actually, hardware robotics would qualify for this. So. He has that. So even when he's zoned out in a symbol space or something like that, he has multiple robots watching the room. So you're guessing one of them is a freezer, foam gun. One of them is actually some sort of spray weapon, not a shredder, but spraying some sort of liquid payload or gas.
No, we can't have that.
Well, and the other one is a shredder. So, so he has 3 robots, and so if anyone enters that room and triggers those robots, it's going to be bad. You're going to have a bad time.
Again, like this eye twitches involuntarily.
Yeah. He does leave the room every other day, briefly to get a package. The packages are shielded, so you can't scan them casually, or at least they're not registered. They are not inherent. They do not trigger any alarms. They don't have explosives residue. They aren't known bioweapons or anything like that, but they're shielded, so they might be. So he gets a package every few days. When he brings it in, it looks like fabric material. He has a medium fabric in there that he is using to build various things. And then there is you don't see the pennies anywhere, but there is a safe in the room, and there is also an armored briefcase. So it must be in one of those. The armored briefcase both of them are being guarded by that. The safe is obviously larger and immobile. It's anchored to the floor, but the armored briefcase. So you're guessing they're in the safe and then are put into the armored briefcase when he transports them. And the armored briefcase is very heavily shielded. You can't get and read anything inside of it. So, and it's definitely a very sophisticated locking mechanism and blah, 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 blah. So it's a pretty tight setup, but he does leave the room every day to pick up a package, which is delivered on a regular basis. So you would be in the hallway when he's thing, and then fucking zap his brain. So that's one security thing. You in fact, it's coming up tomorrow, day 2. Okay. So you're on day 1. The end of day 1, basically, because you spent hours looking at all this footage. Other things like that, with 100 on your kinesics, the guy is a stone-blooded killer. He is able to deal with, a mission. He is just like low affect, totally not bored at all, very focused. So basically the kind of person you would want guarding this, someone who is willing to sit in a room and watch and protect an object for fucking however long it takes. And yeah, of course you don't know. I mean, he's obviously entertaining himself with symbol spaces or XPs of, he's clearly going in symbol spaces or XPs, watching XPs of who knows what. But that's all encrypted, so you can't really tell. But, he is not wearing armor. None of you can wear armor in here, by the way. You're civilians. You can wear smart clothing, which gives you, 2 points. But even an armor vest is verboten, because that just gives people bad vibes. And, yeah. So, what else? Let's see here. You can give me a security ops check. You already did.
Yeah,
so,
I did.
So that's one way. Yeah, if you can brain fuckle his password out of his head, you can break the traffic and then find out, spy on all his shit. So
yeah, because I have deep scan, so that's going to be a lot more information than essential.
What page is that on?
That is on 283. So, yeah, basically that's telepathic and alien invade the target's mind and probe information. I extract 2 pieces of information per success and +2 for each superior success. It'll take full action to retrieve, during which the slight must be sustained. So,
let's see here.
So if somebody is interrupting him or talking to him as a distraction, that will actually provide me the opportunity to get what we need.
Mm-hmm. So, another thing is to basically, let's see, breast launch.
Deep scan.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at that. So yeah, you kind of have to sit there and make the roll. Plus 2 reach. Yeah, so it takes a full action turn. Action turn is like 3 seconds. So, so sustained duration.
So how strong do you guys want me to come on?
Well, here's the thing. You could use it as a temporary distraction. Well, with security ops, and here's the way you can make the play. You could first brain fuckle them and get the password and spy on them for another day, because you've got 4 more days. Well, I mean, we should probably see if you're wanting to do the password thing first, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
If that's at least, because if we can if we get the encryption break, then we can get all the information there. So try for the simplistic action first before we go for more complex.
Sure. All right. So you're in the hallway. He's in the hallway. Stay 2. He's going to the mail pickup place to get his package. You're in the hallway, so go ahead. It's an opposed roll versus his will.
Okay.
And then after you're done with this, you'll have to make your infection test.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yes. Okay, that's 75 out of 80.
All right, that beats his 18.
Okay.
That's a double superior success, so you get 2 pieces of information. So
Okay. Actually, we'll get 4 total.
okay, you get 4. Does it say you specify what you get?
It will be either name, image, passcode, description, or summary of a few sentences long, a memory in less than a minute. So,
Okay.
so the code would definitely come out of that. So,
Yeah, you get a password for his TACnet. You get a password, another password for one of his services. You get a passcode for the safe, and you get a passcode for the briefcase.
excellent.
So go ahead and make your infection test.
All right, and I forgot. Sorry from last week what the infection test was. So that was Will.
It was no. Your base infection rating is 20, and then you add 6 to it
Because of the infection. So
yeah,
and
because it's sustained. Infection mod is 6, so.
and we have to get over that. So
If now every time it succeeds, you it does something bad to you. So roll percentiles and tell me what you get.
and trying to get over 26.
You're trying to get over 26.
And this would be interesting. I got 12. So
12. All right.
let's see what happens.
Let's see here. 4. You're the architect. All right.
So yeah, actually we looked at that too because I was building stuff. So
all right. All right.
oh god, they said like you were 4 on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
All right. So you get this information, then you decide to leave the building and go to the stores. So you need to do a little bit of shopping.
Oh god. Let's see.
You start. There's a pet store nearby with smart animals, so you start buying cyber rats.
No. That's like cyber cockroaches. They
do have. Yeah, they're smart roaches.
And they take them in a can too, and I can actually make them. Us like form into structures on there too. Things that I can actually literally stand on them over the building and then walk on there. Nobody will ever suspect this thing.
All right.
4, 5, 6, 7. Oh god, what do I have? I have 20.
So
cans.
all of you were watching SAIROC. As he said, he could just get the information by being in the same hallway as him, and you're like, what? And then he said he had and then he just was in the same hallway and then turned around and left and started going to the pet store and started buying smart cockroaches. So that's odd.
Suspicions.
Can I wrap up my suspicion rating on SAIROC?
Yeah, all right. Are you going to give me a multi 3 save? That's very
Yeah, I make it.
in the Age of Titans and shit like that. That's worrying.
I'm good.
All right,
Crit success,
Yep.
actually.
all right. Well, what do you guys do?
Okay, so as soon as he gets back with his roaches,
Oh, you don't know what I'm getting. So I'm
No, you're motivated to hoard, but you don't have to turn off your TACnet.
So
You could turn off your TACnet,
as soon as he gets back with his
but you don't
roaches,
really think about it. You're just like, I got to go buy some roaches. Yeah.
all right. So sorry guys. Bye.
So Lawrence,
Yeah.
as soon as SAIROC gets back with those passwords, I would like for you to look at the feasibility of getting inside that safe. How long will it take you? How much time?
Well,
will
that's
it
I need to get eyes on it before I.
You have eyes on
We've
it.
got eyes on it.
Well, in that
We got
case,
the insider, yeah.
it's like, well, in that case, I mean, like, yeah, getting in there, opening the safe is fine. It's whatever little surprises maybe there.
Oh,
can't
while
see
I'm collecting
now.
right now, I do send over TACnet information right now. Oh, you need in there right now? That's easy as the cockroaches I'm building up. Safe password, encryption password, briefcase password. We're good.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, you give the best. Yeah, I want everything inside there. Give it to me. Yeah, that's fair.
That's like, you know, you can fuse those pennies and it's like into one penny. That would make it even more valuable.
Yeah.
At that point, like, let's shut him off of TACnet really quick. What do you say? I think he might have been
We
brain
can talk to each other in this room with.
You're aware I can still hear you.
You can be, they can mute you from TACnet. So.
Yeah, I just.
Oh, more time.
He got brain fuckled.
Oh, more time for roaches.
All right, so
I think he brain fucked himself.
we also got passwords through magic, as far as you can tell.
Look, there's a reason why we're all on this team, right? We all have our strong points. I get to pull a face dance.
Yes, but
You get to pull the laser dance.
Well, I know I haven't danced in a long time, but yes, I know what we're doing. But him, I think you heard what he was mumbling.
Yes, I did, Lawrence, and that's why I'm asking you.
Okay, so
How long will it take you to get inside that room and get me my...
All right, give me the security abstract.
68, yeah.
Okay, I mean, you have an insider, so this is a really good scenario. You have access to the building schematics. You know where all the sensors and security systems are, and you can have them turned off.
Essentially, I'm doing doing the like the Sherlock thing, looking at the screen, just maps, like just trying to form what would be with 68, about how long would this take, provided everything goes well.
Well, the real problem is not the building, but the Rutgers personal security. The robots aren't on the grid. Your insider has no control over them, and you don't exactly know what kind of sensor network they have. So and it's a small room, and there's not really a lot of cover to the safe. So there's virtually no way they would not be able to sense you, even with all your stealth modifiers. That is the one thing regarding with all kinds of...
Okay, and let's be clear on this. Getting in there is fine. I could do that in a matter of minutes. It's those robots. And let me tell you, I'm not dealing... those are submachine guns too, aren't they? I'm definitely not dealing with that.
No, those are not submachine guns.
Well, one's a Shrek.
What exactly are they again, Neil?
Well, whatever it is, it would take a long time to heal, and it would hurt like hell.
Well, one's a foam gun.
Neil detected a freezer gun, a shredder, and
a liquid
projector. Neil does not.
And I'm only
It could be gas, actually.
Well, so I'm willing to bet one of my tentacles it's corrosive. I'm going to be the one that's in there. What? Yes.
If only we had a specialist in robotics who could do something about those robots. Nil, do you know where I can find a specialist in robotics?
Well, I'm sure he could do the job, but it's getting him in there.
Well, we don't have to get him in there.
Are they synthmorphs?
They're robots, yeah.
Okay.
So hardware robots.
But they're not on the grid.
They're not on the grid.
You'd
have to get physical access to it.
Okay.
You use up your fixer swarm for the distraction. It's gone.
I know we could do the job, but getting him in there undetected, and he would have to physically be at the robots to do that.
So
breaking in.
The thing is, you also have two other passwords. You have three other passwords. You have two other passwords you can try. One is to his TACnet, and one is to something else. So you could try, that's the thing. If you have access to his TACnet, you could spoof messages with a really good deception check and tell him to, we have to move the package to a new location, pick up your shit and go, and then hit him in transit. Or you could tell him, we have a buyer for it. It's suffer not injustice. Let him in the room. In which case... you could get in the room, and then it's really a follow. So you can get in the room, or you can tell him to move, but then it's a follow-up. He's very suspicious and paranoid, and he'll do double checks, and it's only a matter of, you're talking about minutes before you're in deception. You do at best before deception is discovered, because you can spoof in there, but as soon as they run security networks, you'll see that there's an extra user in the TACnet. Why is there... Hey, Steve, why is there Steve 1 and Steve 2 now in the network? What are you talking about? There's only one Steve. No, there's a Steve 2 now. What?
No, I heard they made another Steve.
Steve's always been there.
Yeah, Steve 2's always been there.
Steve 3, what do you know about Steve 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You could get Rutger out of the room. That's easy enough by hey, I'm the buyer. Come and meet me. He's going to leave the bots in the room. When the bots are in there, you know what's really good against robots? EMPs. you could throw an EMP in there, and then you could open up the safe. Then, of course, that's kind of loud. It's not super loud. It'd actually be pretty quiet in there if you just use the EMPs, EMP grenades or whatever. So you could bring in an EMP grenade, disable the robots, then open the safe, and then get out.
Okay. If I can get an EMP grenade, I think we can do that.
Yeah, that's EMP grenades. I think are pretty simple devices. They're basically getting here is a favor for the most part. So you just have to. Actually, no. EMPs are pretty expensive. Per 5. Okay, so I'll say it's a moderate favor to get 2 grenades.
I'll contact some people I know.
Okay.
Some criminals.
Mm-hmm.
56.
Yeah, so that's 16. All right, that's your moderate favor.
All right. All right, I know a guy. He's a little weird. I think he can hook us up.
So,
he's a one-armed guy that one-armed arms dealer. He claims he lost it in some war, but I'm pretty sure he blew it off in a binge drinking incident.
well, the real reason is why does he not get a new arm?
Yeah, or is he keeping that more for aesthetic purposes?
I mean, maybe it's a branding thing.
It is. It's a branding thing.
Right, yeah.
So, although in the TACnet everybody can see it flashing when I'm still talking. So,
yeah. It actually wears off after about an hour.
Oh, for the mute. So, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The recording.
Yeah. But at some point,
you spend a point of your profit though on that.
So I'll get in contact.
So, that GP you got from the last job is spent.
Okay.
On smart roaches.
All right. So yeah, I'll contact Phil. Mm-hmm. My guy.
All right.
Hey.
He's like, Phil, what's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, yeah. Staying busy. You?
Always busy.
Absolutely.
Gang war, that war between the Night Cartel and the Triads and ID crew. It's great for business.
War is always good for business.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Actually, Ferengi rule of acquisition number 34, if I'm not mistaken.
Speaking of which,
yeah.
I need some. I'm going to need some party favors for something coming up.
Sure.
Gonna need some imp.
Mm-hmm. I will send it to you in a shielded package. It'll be nice and legit, like.
You know I love nice and legit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Phil, it's like you're the best. You wear that with pride.
All right. So that's your moderate favor. They get you 2 EMP grenades. Those will disable the. If you drop them at the same time, it'll definitely disable the robots.
And it's a good thing I'm really good at dropping things with multiple arms.
Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is get Rutger out of the room. First Lawrence has to get in position. So that'll be like a standard infiltrate check.
Okay.
And then once you're in position, then you have to figure out. You can make your pitch as the buyer. To lure Rutger out of the room, you could use spoofing from the TACnet to be like, go meet with this person and see if they're legit. See, that's something they would believe. And so that gets them out of the room. And so you have to then, distract Rutger as long as you can.
Now, do we have the fabbed pennies?
You can't. Someone give me, you didn't, no one made a hardware check to make them. You have the specs for them, but it's off.
I've got the fabber, but I don't have an applicable hardware
If
skill.
you can do a hardware robotics, I think of 20.
So, if we could have asked somebody else if you wanted to call in a favor.
Yeah,
too.
favor would work too. That'd be a minor favor because they're
Okay, so question on the EMP grenades.
Uh-huh.
They will disable the robots, but the robots will only be temporarily disabled, right?
No, it'll trash them. They'll there's no way you can once they go, it's only a matter of time. But you set off a clock that Rutger is going to find this out. Yeah. So you need to get the fuck out pretty quickly after you. But you have the passcode for the safe. So you don't have to safe crack. You just enter.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, beep, 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 boop.
Yeah,
open safe,
good.
make the switch, close the safe, and then when Rutger opens the safe, he's going to go, oh, well, they tried to do something, but they didn't make it in.
Hopefully.
Could I see if...
Depends on how good the forgery is.
Could I do a research roll on the information since we have access to encryption in his daily routine to see who in the building he's talking to the most often and where he's talking to them to?
He's not talking to anyone in the building.
Nobody at all?
Nobody at all. He spends his time watching Simul Space.
Well, he does talk to people, but they're not in the building.
So, okay.
They're just numbers, and there's no ID information.
Okay, so it's on. That's all encrypted or at least hidden. So,
do you have any knowledge about criminals or anything?
Black market. So,
yeah, give me a black market check.
Okay. Yes, that's 16 out of 50.
This is heavily coded jargon, essentially a thieves' comp for Eclipse Phase, where their muses must have like very custom dictionaries to make it comprehensible.
To constantly,
but it's like these are other Lagules members. You don't know who, but they're talking about work and the deal, guarding the shit, and of course their main stock and trade, which is taking people's bodies and reselling them.
Okay. That won't take
and murdering people.
So, other thing that I could do is that I could, if they're willing to trust me on this, if he comes out, I can put myself in a position where I'm near him, but he doesn't see me, hopefully, and have him walk in circles until we're out or ready to go.
Well, to get him out of the room, you'll have to like do the most obvious line that Zemo thinks of is come check this buyer out.
Yeah.
And like
it's more just an
which
emergency
is
aspect.
entirely why we set up the legend in the first place.
Yeah. So it's just as an emergency basis too, in case that we do, he gets suspicious, he goes away from Zemo.
Well, that's the thing is like you don't know how Rutger keeps an eye out on the bots when he leaves the room, so you don't know how long it'll be before he realizes they've been fried.
Okay, so
you're talking like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so I would probably keep with Zemo just in case as a hanger.
Because because if Rutger finds out too early, then he's going to be real angry.
Yes,
and he has concealed weapons that are not being shown. Like he's somehow compromised the security of this building too.
I'm certain of that.
So no, you know that. Like you can look at him and he has a gun in his a gun built into his clothes that like he has a holster with a heavy pistol on it. That's not a gun, says the algorithm. But so he's compromised the building security.
No, that's a weather balloon.
Yeah, basically.
Goddamn motherfucking civil system.
Also, he's in a pretty beefy looking morph. That's probably a Fury or something like that.
Or something.
So so he's gonna be real angry when he finds out. Somebody give me the favor. Did somebody make a minor favor to forward to the pennies?
G-Rep.
That would work.
Oh, that's a fail.
Okay.
I can't flip it.
Okay. Well, you don't know anyone who's willing to do that.
Let's see. Would
you rep on that? Let's see.
You said G-Rep, right?
Any rep would work, really. You just need somebody who's basically got 3D modeling and 3D printing skills.
And are our favorites reset from the last time?
Everything except major.
Okay, so Night and moderate.
Okay, so I'll go for a G-Rep myself.
Sure.
24 out of 30, so yes.
Okay, someone sends you back a 3D file to Fab.
Okay.
And you print out pennies. They look the same. They look like pennies. They look like the pennies, as far as you can tell, but none of you are expert forgers, so I'm sure it's fine. I mean, as far as you can tell. Actually, you can give me perception checks if you want to, do any of you have, enhanced visual senses or anything?
I do.
Okay, yeah.
Actually.
And perception. That is a fail unless I flip it. And that is insight. So I will spend the 1 insight to flip it.
Okay. All right. You zoom in on it and do real close looks at it. And it's close, but even you as not an expert can tell that it's not the same as the data you have. The person you did it obviously did this in a few hours, and you told them just to make pennies. You didn't tell them to make it a forged thing because you're kind of hey, can you just make some pennies? I think this looks cool. And as you're kind of playing off casual, so he has no idea that you commissioned him to help with a felony, a crime. So if Rutger spends a minute looking at it, also assuming if he has enhanced vision, he'll be able to tell. If you could tell, Rutger could definitely tell.
Okay. Is there a way that I can make it to where it's going to take a minute and a half or longer?
That was a minor favor. If you get a moderate favor, you'll get an expert forger to do it. So you want to use a moderate favor.
I think I would like to use a moderate favor.
All right. Which network?
Just for giggles, let's go for Fame Network.
Okay, sure.
Friend, get a hold of a sculptor and go, all right, I'm looking for something that looks old Earth. Specifically, I want it to look like these because Sylvia got a hold of those, and she is the toast of the party scene.
All right.
And I want her to know just how gauche they really are. We're going to put these all over the place.
I like it. Sure.
On 9.
Okay. You get them back and give me another perception check. I mean, anybody else can do what they want. If you're zooming in and looking at them, you're all looking at fab pennies. Be like, is this?
That's an 11.
I got an 11 too.
All right, yeah.
2 critical successes on that.
I mean, with the critical, you can tell, but you know exactly what to look for. You have really good data of the originals, and you look at that. You know that there's with an 11, you also know that the composition is there's some things that fabbers can't do, replicate easily, and that's how you tell.
Part of it is the fact that the fabbers today are very, very precise, and they're going to have the exact layers in the cross-hatching so that they go completely across, as opposed to the old ways, which was to have a layer of metal poured and then another layer of metal poured around it, and it's stamped, and the stamping process takes it out. But the fabbers do it to it's perfectly even.
And you realize this is why they're so valuable, is that they can't be fabbed easily and perfectly replicated.
Yes.
But you have an incredible amount of data, and it took you 10 minutes to resolve this.
And I knew exactly what I was looking at because I knew they were.
So this would pass. It would take a seasoned veteran expert at detecting forgeries, or an expert on old Earth artifacts, or a coin collector. Someone with knowledge coin collecting would be able to tell the difference. But if you don't have that, so you don't know if Rutger could be able to tell, because he has access to the original pennies, so he's probably done deep the same level of data that you have on it, the same level of scans. But it would take him at least 10 minutes to verify for sure.
Which means that we've got enough time to cheese it.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the job exactly as we had planned it. The one thing that I definitely want you to do is throw suspicion off after you've made the switch. And here's how we're going to do that. He's going to have 3 wrecked robots. But I want it to look like you were jacking something else in the room. So with all of our scans, do we know if there is anything else in the room that is of value other than the safe and the locked case?
Well, if you spend a point of flex, there could be.
Actually, yes. I will spend that point of flex. Since you're going to be in the room, I want you to position the robots here, here, and here around the wet bar. Now, when you go in, I want to call your attention, if I may, to that black bottle over there. That is a very specific type of Johnny Walker.
Okay.
It was popular on Old Earth. It was a very good mix. Lawrence, are you listening?
I am completely, yes.
All right. So it's obviously not an old Earth artifact, Johnny Walker.
It's not.
That would be way expensive.
But it is a very good, capable reproduction.
Well, actually, it could be that. It could also be a cyber brain. Cyber brains are always worth stealing, because who knows what ego is in there. And maybe Rutger passes the time by torturing that person. So,
you want me to steal that?
Yes.
Actually, you spend a point of flex. I'll say there's both, but the booze would probably not be worth stealing, because but the cyber brain, the brain would definitely be. Actually, he could take both.
That could be a favor from somebody, whoever we rescue. So.
Well, I mean, cyber brains are always worth stealing, because ego trafficking is a thing.
Maybe we can actually, if there is an ego in here, maybe we can help the guy.
Well, that person is going to need a shitload of therapy, if they psychosurgery, if they.
Or maybe we could just sell him.
Well, if you want to be assholes.
But I don't want to be an asshole. Do you want to be an asshole?
I don't.
Can I know what model the robots are that are in that room, and
Sure.
doing so help optimize? If I know what frequency they're running on, could I optimize the EMP grenades to be more effective?
Give me a hardware robot check.
That's a 20. I also actually have knowledge bot models.
Okay. With those that they have weak shielding in certain areas, so Lawrence, you get +10 on your athletics checks.
Okay.
To drop them at throw them so that they detonate at the exact right height. Because if you do it like at 0.76 meters above the ground, that's where they're at their weakest, and their shielding's at the weakest. So if they're that high, if they're that exact height when they detonate, they'll be fried for sure.
I gotcha.
So, all right. So you probably want to get in position, and then you can lure him out. So, or you could lure him out, and then you get in position.
Actually, let me get to a staging area.
Okay. That's just an infiltrate check. You still have to sneak, and Kyan doesn't have total control of the building.
81.
Other people, so it's against a 50, unless they get a crit, which they don't.
It's like I'm doing my thing. I'm like Houdini. I'm gone.
You want me to be further down the hall to take a package or something and fly off if we need a getaway?
Mostly, I need you to coordinate and let me know when Lawrence has got the thing out.
All right.
Okay. All right. So now you can spoof someone else on this TACnet, and you have enough information about their secret language that you've been studying.
Deception?
Yeah, deception.
That is a 20 out of my 80.
Do you want to spend a point to upgrade it?
I do.
All right, because they got a 29. You probably want to do that. So that allows you to beat them in that opposed thing, because you have a superior success. You barely beat them. So the Rucker replies he is very suspicious. He is going to... he will go. But he calls, why don't you come in? He messages a third member, someone you aren't spoofing, and you can't intercept the message. And says, hey, can you come in here in case this goes sideways? This sounds kind of weird that they already know where I am. But if they're willing to sell, I'm eager to get out of here. So just come in here as backup. And you got this other anonymous member of the Wills. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yes.
ETA 5 minutes.
Of course, because I am this person who obviously you've known for many years and is highly skilled in this, and here's my weak spot.
Yeah. So, there is that. But you don't know where they are exactly. He goes to meet you. And you request to meet in a meeting room in the building. So he's like, I've heard of you. Suffers not injustice.
It's suffer.
Suffer. Okay.
Only one S.
Normally, I would just kill you and pop your stack for this insult, but we are motivated to sell. But you just... So you have that going for you, because I'm getting bored. And there's only so much you can do to torture a person in some space. So.
There really is. And I know your reputation well enough that you ought to know that before I even set foot in this room, I was backed up.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
But I assumed that you would know enough of my reputation that you would also be backed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you know that I know.
You know?
Of course. The real question is, do you have the credits? If you can show me some proof of your wealth, how are you wanting to give this? Credits, cryptocurrency, extropian? Do you have rep? We can trade in rep if you have some, if you're good with the autonomous out there. Tell me, how do you want to pay? So give me a deception check. I can totally pay, and here's how.
Can I give him a bonus since I'm within the room with? Since I was coming in as entourage for deception, or
how are you helping?
So,
I have autonomous rep, so
I have a 55 out of 80.
Okay.
I didn't bring any of those things with me because I wanted to find out what exactly it was that you wanted. See, that's the lovely thing about it.
I just need proof.
It exists in so many different ways, and I can prove that wealth easily enough.
Okay.
Just as you didn't prove the pennies because you know that I would know that you have them because you smell of copper. But that also tells me that you would know that I have the money. How exactly do you want me to pay? What price are you putting?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Right now, the best thing that trades for us is, we'll say, planetary consortium credits. Local. We could use a bit of local spending money for a couple things. We're pretty good in crypto right now. Rep is always fine, but it's just so far.
Planetary consortium credits do spend, and as we all know,
unless you have someone
Mars is rainy, is it not? And every time it rains, it does rain pennies from heaven.
I don't understand. Oh, my muse just explained it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just credits. Give me a bank statement. Show me the money. Yeah. So at this point, you don't have that kind of proof because that requires forgery. If anybody had some sort of knowledge on finance or something like that, you could do that. You could have called in a favor, have somebody fake a spreadsheet.
I've got fencing at 60.
Fencing. Okay, yeah, fencing would work.
59 out of 60.
Okay. So you have a credible bank statement. It's totally fake, though. So as soon as he tries to verify it, it will be discovered. So you've got about 3 minutes before he figures that out. But
what
meanwhile,
I was actually hoping for was not exactly I don't have it in liquid currency, but on the other hand, this is what I do have, and this is what it will turn into in about 20 minutes.
Well, that's a bank, like routing numbers and stuff like that, account numbers, like things that can be verified. Like that's the thing. There's only so many numbers you can just make up and be believed. He eventually will dial up. He will eventually plug these numbers into a bank network and be like, "Oh, that's not a real account." So you have with 59, you have 3 minutes. So meanwhile, you've already been talking for 2 minutes. So meanwhile. You want to really make this athletics check. You have a plus 10 bonus thanks to your guidance from Nil.
So I will spend another point of flex.
And while he's doing that, we know that Rutgers is sending somebody else in to cover for him.
Well, he said backup. Was not. You don't know anything else.
We don't know who, but having been here for a couple days and having eyes on the area, could we figure out one of these things is not like the others? See who is here now that wasn't there before?
Give me InfoSec. Right. You can look through you have access to the network. You can make
60 on the nose.
Okay. There's actually 3 other people registered to this apartment. One of them is one of those 3 people. So they've never visited so far, but they're registered, so they can visit.
Okay.
So you don't know, their data is very anonymized. It's very generic. These are very much cut out identities. So
sure.
You don't know anything about that, but if one of those 3 people enter, you'll be instantly alerted. So you don't. In fact, you can make a perception check because there are cameras outside on the building that point outward. So you can and if as soon as they see one of these people that are registered at the building, they'll be ID tagged.
18, good.
Okay.
I love that you are still the eye in the sky when you're not actually flying overhead.
So with an 18, you do see a hover car flying in very fast. It is a U-lift, oob-lift.
Lifter.
Yeah, it's a ride share.
Luber, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's moving real fast. So you're watching that. Anyways, what'd you get on your athletics?
I haven't rolled yet.
Okay, well please roll.
38.
That's good enough. You drop both grenades. The room is fried. Your columns are temporarily down because
EMPs. That's to be expected.
Yeah, EMPs are a thing.
Bitch.
Yep. So
good job, Phil.
Yeah. All right, you gonna go?
Drop down.
Yep. Drop down. Give me your perception check.
31.
Okay. Good thing you didn't just immediately rush over to the safe because you do realize there is one blast trap which is mechanically hardwired. One complication, there is some sort of on the bed which has not been used. Rutger just sleeps in a chair in the middle of the room. Yeah, he's that extra. but is pointed at the safe. If you were to open it, there is some sort of big nozzle-looking thing. So something.
Do not look directly at
The nozzle, yeah.
Goddamn.
So looks like it maybe I don't know, flamethrower sprays acid, virus, something. So you can make an infiltrate check against the sensors of that thing to activate the safe without, or you could try and disarm it.
I'm not good at what would disarming be?
Probably a hardware skill.
Then I don't have, so it's got to be an infiltrate.
Okay.
I said it's 135 right now.
Well, it's negative 50 again.
Of course it is.
Because it's...
I will spend my last point to negate that.
Okay. It's just an opposed check. It's got a camera on it, so it's watching.
Spend my last flex to flip it to 61.
All right. Well, it critically failed, so the EMP, I guess, disabled it.
Okay.
So...
Just sitting there. Oh.
I do the best sneak about... Oh,
the camera's fried.
Oh, okay. Beep, boop, boop, beep, beep.
All right. Yeah, so that takes you a couple minutes. So, you two, give me kinesics checks.
Okay.
68 out of 80.
Okay. He knows. He's doing a good job of not letting on that he knows, but he knows. And he's stalling for time. Damn it. The bank's going through some maintenance. It's going to take a little longer to run these numbers. But honestly, this is... you're lucky. How did you even find out about this, by the way?
I told you. I can smell the copper on you.
So,
Okay.
I know where they are.
so I actually over TACnet, just like, do you want a way out?
Right back over TACnet, he knows.
Again, way out now?
Now, you're in a conference room. He's on one side. Both of you are in front of him.
Yeah.
He would not let you stand behind him. Just so
So-
you know.
That's fine. So, it's like, way out now, question mark. Yes, no, question mark.
Exclamation points.
The two, actually,
not an
three
answer.
people get out of the hover vehicle. Those are the three registered people. They are two in synth morphs, and one is a pod morph. You can tell that much. They are carrying bulky packages, and they are wearing bulky clothing that is certainly not combat armor.
Okay, I'm going to fly casually over in this direction, and then when I'm out of their field of vision, jet towards Lawrence as fast as I can. Since our comms are down.
His calm down.
Yeah, his guns are down.
Ours are up.
Yeah.
You tell them about
And
that.
I'm
Yeah,
letting you,
I'll-
he knows, so.
So you're on the 5th floor, by the way, your meeting room. They were obviously going to be on the ground floor. So, what are you going to do?
Fuck with his brain.
So.
Does the apartment that there's probably doesn't have windows, does it?
It does.
The one that the pennies are in?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
I'm not touching the window though. Jesus.
no, that's fine because I can just fly around the outside of the building, go up to the window, tap on it, and get your attention.
Yeah.
I probably know the window's wired to some death ray or something. Knowing this guy.
Maybe. Well, all right. First off,
Or just
so your infection rating's 26 right now.
26,
Yeah, but go ahead and make your roll against his will.
Yep, we are doing that for illusion. So. Yes, that's 35 out of 80.
Okay. That beats him.
Okay.
Got a 28.
28, and actually, I'd like to...
What's your infection mod for that?
Sorry.
pencil down.
Oh, yeah. What is... Yeah, first off, you get the effect off.
Yeah, so before I do that, can I spend a will to upgrade that to a superior success?
Well, you got a 35?
A 35, yeah.
So you have one superior. Yeah, you make a double superior.
Yes, I'd like a double superior if I can. So, to do this, I would like him to basically, believe that we are completely out of the building. We were never there. He can't see us. He can't smell us. We're not registering. Gone. So...
So there's a holodrome where we were.
Yes, essentially, basically making it look like, again, we were part of it.
Oh, yeah, that you're a hologram.
That we were basically a mesh overlay on his... Because I'm assuming
Oh,
it's
yeah,
cyber
you could make him think that he was hacked.
Yeah, making him think
All right.
he was back hacked, and then go through that channel, so...
Okay, yeah, I like that.
with no trace.
Aaron, that is outrageous. Truly outrageous.
All right, give me let's see here. What page is
that was 8 on there, so I'm adding 8 to it, so it's going to take me to 34. Yeah, 34 for my affection rating.
Go ahead and give me.
Roll high, Aaron. Roll high, SAIROC. 66 critical success. I don't know if that will go a success there, but I'm over it. So.
All right. Yeah, you're fine. It's fine. Yeah, he bolts out of the room. Those 3 people start booking as well. And they are, you. So, Lawrence, probably you want to give me an athletics test to get the fuck out?
Let's cheese it.
Yeah.
Make sure you grab the things.
Spin that. 79.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking.
You get out before a person with superhuman speed, because, jacked up robot gets in the room real fast.
I'm going to add something we said from yesterday. They're fucking jacked!
Yeah, they're fucking jacked. And he thought you two were never there, so you two will still need to give me infiltration checks, because they're going to be searching the building. The other two start combing the building. In order to get out, you're going to have to make some kind of infiltration check. To even with help from Cayenne, this is the. I'll give you a. Do you have any points in infiltration?
I don't. So
okay,
just it would be base reflex, unless I get a bonus off of it.
I'll give you a plus 20 because your insider is helping you. No, go this way. Go that way.
Could I do something else to possibly give myself one more bonus?
What?
Pop the cans of roaches that I have.
No, that wouldn't help.
Okay, just to create a distraction. So
I was thinking, basically pull a disguise.
Okay. Do you have a skill for that? Probably deception.
Deception.
Or actually, could I just do deceive to kind of?
Do you have any kind of thing that describes your appearance, though?
Actually, I do.
What?
Specifically, that my morph is nondescript.
Okay.
I paid extra to get the morph trait of nondescript, so that this would be one that I could easily.
Do you have smart clothing too?
Yes.
Okay, with smart clothing, that you can make a deception check instead of infiltration.
Could I do that as well since I have smart clothing?
Do you have a nondescript?
Don't have nondescript, but I do have a deceive though. So if possible.
No, your appearance is distinct.
Okay,
his is generic John Smith.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, with the self morph, you can go with one option that is very striking looks, which is a very distinctive.
Yeah.
Specifically because of the way that I work as a character, I went, no, I want to be a
There's like 4 other people with his exact same look.
Okay, no worries. I'll just
It's the generic Hollywood actor look that is very common. So
it is.
All right.
I could pass for Russell Crowe.
So I can.
Okay, well, these are opposed checks, by the way. So what'd you get?
I got a 61 out of 80.
Okay. Oh, unfortunately, they got a 63 out of 80.
Can I spend a point?
I did say you could. Yeah, do you have any flex left? Or
well, since this is a savvy-based skill, that would be Moxie. And yes, I do.
Okay. With that, you are deceptive enough to avoid them. What did you roll?
Failed.
Oh, you failed that, right? All right. Yeah, you've been told that bulky person 1, who is a registered guest of Rutger's apartment, locks eyes with you, and starts walking towards you with purpose, and it is a synth morph.
Shit. So, and I don't think I have anything else that I can really do on that one. So,
what floor are we on right now?
You're on the ground floor. You're near the exit. He's on the second floor. Exactly.
So. Actually, deception check at this point, so if I can do anything else to basically lie.
He's just walking towards you right now.
Is there anything in the building that I could hack and use to cause a distraction?
Deception check right now to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, Neil, what are you thinking?
I have...
Pop my roaches.
Oh, I don't know.
What would be a good distraction? Do you have...
Kill the lights?
Yeah,
or does it cause them to flicker?
Oh, no. Nils, do you remember what we did in New Hong Kong?
No.
The flashlight rave. Lights, sounds, bombard him with everything that you possibly got in Gaga 3.6.
Do you have what kind of skills do you have?
I've got program interface, infosec, hardware robotics, knowledge neofactoring engineering, bot models.
Okay.
They are connected to the mesh, though, right?
Yeah, with your security insider, Kyan is like, you need to pull me out if you're going. I'm not going to help you unless you put me into an ego bridge or put me into a cortical stack and start carrying me out. I can still access it if you load me into a cyber brain or something, but I'm not. This is it. I need to know you're going to actually fulfill your end of the bargain.
So, question: Are these other guys connected to the mesh right now?
Are you talking about the Ghouls team?
Yeah, the Ghouls team.
Yeah, obviously they're connected to the mesh with their own encrypted TACnet.
So, for the purposes of this question, I'm going to spend my last point of flex to have an item just like that, an ego bridge or
you can smuggle him out.
Yeah.
All right, so he can still help you because he's still connected to the mesh, but he is physically being carried at you. So, he actually.
About the best thing we can do is sensory overload them.
You can max out all. Actually, he can declare him a security threat.
Yeah,
and so he a foam freezer gun from the roof pops down and blasts him. You probably want to make an athletics.
Oh, I'm running. So
all right, give me athletics.
Yes, that makes it a 29.
All right, so you get out before you can get a gun out or get out of the freezer, out of the foam. All of you are out.
Yeah, getting out. It's just like, there.
Yeah. You get in your own Uber lift, and you manage to get away with the pennies.
By the way.
Yeah.
Birder phone. Hello, my friends at the cartel. This is Anonymous, your favorite tipper. And I just wanted to let you know that the collateral for the loan that you are seeking is currently in the 5th floor, room number 587 of, what's the name of that facility?
Tacoma Heights.
Thank you. Tacoma Heights.
Okay.
So you should probably hurry because they're a little upset right now.
Okay. You give the tip off to the triads. They will definitely check it out, but they're probably by the time they get people there, the ghouls will be gone. But they'll certainly investigate it.
By the way, Pennies brain.
Yeah. You have a cyber brain. You have a bottle of Johnny Walker.
And in my other in another arm, I've got this.
You got a lot of shit.
Definitely want to see who's in there. So
why did you steal underwear?
Dude, this is the underwear of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Are you certain there's not a swarm in there?
No, it wouldn't be a swarm. It'd most likely be just exploding. Literally explosive.
No. So you
Dead forward in the elastic band.
You're loading the captured cyber brain in a simple space.
Yeah, I'd like to do it. Although I want to make sure we're doing something air gapped, so it has no connection to the to that. But yeah, boot that up and see who we're talking to. So,
are you letting the person choose their avatar? Or are you going to force them into?
Oh no, I'll let them choose their own. So at this point, but I'm kind of keeping something anonymous too. So actually, as the I will let my muse interview them since I'm trying to keep them in there. So
okay, yeah, you can do that.
So for mine, it is actually what looks like a giant. That's like a giant pirate ship with a skull as its mast that talks. It's called Harlock.
Okay. All right. So Harlock goes in there, comes back and says, he's fine.
You're fine? Or are you?
No, the person's fine.
Okay, so he's not carrying anything as far as we can tell?
No.
Okay, so...
we should probably... he seems to be eager to get a physical body back. We should probably give him one.
Okay, well, I'll go in and talk to him for a second if you don't mind, so.
Carter Guest. Yeah.
So, I'll res into go into the symbol space.
Okay.
Mr. Guest?
What does the symbol space look like?
let's see. Actually, it's a very nice beach house overlooking. What it looks like overlooking Venus and a couple other planets on the sides, off into the sunset. So very nice. But yeah. So, Mr. Guest.
All right, he's not there in front of you. You turn around and he's trying to put a knife through your head. He does. Of course, it's a symbol space, so nothing happens. He's like,
nothing's going to happen here, sir. So, just to let you know, you are out of custody. So, we are not part of... sorry, I just lost the name of where...
the ghouls?
The ghouls. You are not with the ghouls anymore. So, we are just assessing who you are to be able to better help you.
I won't fall for this again.
Just taking a chair. You can do that as much as you want. I'm not there. So, but we can see about getting you to a psychosurgeon to help you.
I'm sorry, I'm not falling for that again.
So
right, stop it.
All right. Actually, it's a cyber brain too, so I can't scan anything. So,
yeah, you can't use your powers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Underwear.
So, all right. But we're going to let you on there. You will be in here for right now.
Yeah, you can give me...
You're a sick man. Boy, am I glad you're on our side.
I don't
Tentacle up.
You realize Rutger has been using this person not as a torture victim, but as someone to train against.
Sparring partners.
Well, not a sparring partner, but
a sparring victim.
Like someone to stalk and someone who can fight back. So this is whoever Carter is somebody with some military skills who has been in a symbol space, and because the thing is, you need actually a private server to time accelerate. You need a lot of hardware. He's doing it in real time, so you don't know how long Rutger's had this person. So Rutger's been hunting. He's probably been killed by this person several times in these symbol spaces. So it's just
at least.
So it's basically this good person's been living a slasher movie for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to need a lot of rehab.
Yeah, it's probably getting some therapeutic on there, so I would see about.
I mean, the criminal part of you is like, Groundhog says, a person who has been conditioned to this level of violence could be very valuable. With a little bit of memory editing and personality and behavioral traits, they could become an excellent enforcer or assassin. Good price on the black market.
That would be an excellent on the black market, but we're not into ego trading.
Oh, okay.
So, but
on the other hand, it could be an amazing ally if we were able to.
If you could identify who this person is, perhaps there's a bounty on their head.
Again,
that too.
Well, with one thing first going on. So I'll boot out and then say, all right, we need to do some research on this gentleman to see what information we can gather, and also I might want to call in a favor for a psychosurgeon. Or we could actually.
Cadence could do it.
Yeah, we have Cadence. I would like Cadence to be able to take a look at this person to see if we can help them.
Let's pass that one along to Cadence. And by the way, we do need to make one other stop, gentlemen. We need to swing into warehouse number 87, which is where I have a certain package waiting.
Yep. Yeah. So you do fulfill your end of the bargain and give kind of.
Absolutely.
All right.
I am a man of my word.
All right.
And welcome to the world, ZM.
Zach. Okay, that's not bad. All right, thank you. It's probably best if I never talk to you again, or you never try to talk to me again.
Talk to who? We never met.
Yep. All right.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye. I hope I never see you again.
Like, have a wonderful life.
All right. Then skip away like me and living body.
Yep.
Do.
Basically.
So, but whatever the eclipse says of zippity doo dah is.
Oh, to give you the cold resistance, I did have to sacrifice a little bit of the clean metabolism. Sorry.
So the guy's just gonna have the runs every once in a while?
Just a little bit.
Oh, thanks. All right. I didn't spend. All right. Yeah.
Then again, it's like
you said it. That's the truth.
SAIROC.
Yeah.
So, like,
you don't tell somebody that in the middle of the street. You let them.
We said that like, SAIROC.
It's a design issue for what we have. I needed to let him know about that.
Everybody laughs. Roll credits.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You're not quite done yet because you have these pennies, which are extremely valuable to the right person. But you haven't found that person yet.
Yeah, we need to.
You can't sell them. The Triads would definitely want them, but definitely can't sell them to the Triads.
Black markets roll to see who we could possibly talk to about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or would it be a fencing roll?
Both would work.
Yeah, so
both would give you different rolls.
So you go black market, I'll go fencing?
Yep. For that, and that's a knowledge. Sorry. Nope, I failed on my black market roll. So
Okay.
So I succeeded on mine at a 10.
Okay. Basic success.
But I would like to get a better success. Can I spend a moxie on that?
Yeah. I'd allow that because it's a social thing. So, fencing. The thing about fences, you're obviously not going to get as much value out of it because they have to make some of their own cut too.
Yeah.
There are with a superior success, I'll give you 2 potential people. One is on Mars, one is not on Mars. One is on the moon. So you'd have to transport these to the moon. But the moon contact, you would get a higher price because the people on the moon in general value the market for Earth artifacts is higher because they see Earth every day and it's real big. So there's a lot more nostalgia for the Earth. So there's a lot more emotional demand. Also, the market there, people there tend to buy things and never sell them. So whenever something comes to them, also it's not, hot goods per se. Like they're not going to necessarily hear or give a shit that much about something that happens on Mars because they're technically a member. They're actually a member. They're allied with the Planetary Consortium, but they're not like it's the lunar, the LLA, the Lunar Lagrange Alliance, and so they're it's like it's corporate hyper corporation stuff, but like different hyper corporations. So
well, look, it still stands to reason that even based on old Earth, if you stole something in Texas, you didn't hawk it in Texas. You sent it to Arizona.
Well, there are other cities on Mars, and so there is another.
I'm just figuring that on a grander scale, if I send it away from Mars, we're still going to get more money, and it's going to cause less heat on us.
Right.
So let's ship it to the moon.
Well, the other one is you do know about the 2 other people. The other person is in the city of I can't remember it. There's a couple different cities on Mars, not Olympus. I don't think it's in there. I do know of one other city.
Elysium?
Elysium, that's it.
Yep.
Elysium is where your other fence is. It's pretty. It's a good distance from New Shanghai. It's a more high-end city. More rich people live there. Elysium, in the name.
So that's where Margaret was actually from.
So you would not get quite as much money there, but you just have to drive it across, and it's a lot safer to transport because you can put it in a car and then just drive there. And like the thing about getting to the moon is you have to put it on a spaceship. Cargo that goes on spaceship goes through a lot of scans. So there's a lot of people, right? That was actually literally like the plot of The Last Adventure was doing that. So, but it's a small package, so you could actually build a hidden compartment for it. So, the main thing, the difficulty with Elysium is basically convincing the Baroness that it's worth her time to deal with you. You've heard of her. But she is a hyper elite oligarch, fence patron of the arts, very aristocratic, very elitist. So you have to convince her that you're worth dealing with. That you're not some. She doesn't like dealing with criminals that are involved in day-to-day killing and stuff like that. She has people that do have hired people for her. So
those are the pennies those are the pennies we stole.
Okay. So. Basically, you would have to make some sort of social skill test or some sort of deception test to convince her you were doing business with. The trick with doing the smuggling them is that you would have to get them on a ship, and then you're not going to get the payoff for a while because it has to go to the moon. Also, it's probably better if actually one of you personally couriers it. So you could make a fork and do that. You just have to get another morph to do that. And that's a fork you could then remerge with after they got back. So,
but depending on the situation, what experiences have happened.
Well, it's only going to be a few weeks.
So that's true, but enough time for intercept.
Well, actually, yeah, a couple months maybe.
Yeah, possible time for intercept and tampering.
Well, I mean, that's a risk anyway.
Yeah.
So, that's up to you guys.
So I'm still leaning towards moon.
Or you could use them as collateral for a loan. That will work great.
So, gentlemen, I'm still thinking moon, and for another reason. since Margaret herself was from Elysium, and there was an incident involving Pennies from somebody who was from Elysium, if I can make the connection that fast, the criminals from Elysium can make the connection that fast.
Well, the
And
Baroness
we're
is supposed to be very discreet.
Yeah, and we're all disagree on the moon route, because again, we get more money off of that too, but also the moon's a lot rougher than Mars, depending on the situation.
it's pretty civilized scenarios.
Yeah, there are good places, but...
Like, the fence you have is actually another triad, but not the 14K.
Okay.
The triads aren't going to give a shit.
But the other thing I would like, the other thing the reason I think the Barons might be a better option is because, one, if we can make enough of a good showing that increases our reputation within the local criminal syndicates as well. They show us that that's like, and if she's discreet, she sees that we're somebody who is able to pull a fast one over the ghouls pretty easily without any kind of massive bloodshed, which is impressive enough in itself. And she might hire us on for more jobs. So, and again, locally here, we can obviously get ego cast to any place that we need to, but in this case, if we can be a little more established locally, that might bring in other jobs without us having to sacrifice anything else.
Okay, so I've made my pitch, you've made your pitch. Nels, what are you thinking?
Let's go Moon. That's my vote.
I say Moon.
Okay.
All right, so Moon. So the thing with the Moon, again, is getting on a spaceship, and then how are you going to keep it secure to get it to the Triad? There's a very mysterious Triad crime boss who's very interested in Earth, supposedly an uplift of some kind. Nobody knows for sure.
I'm sure that when we get there will be a certain amount of pandemonium.
I hopefully not. Hopefully it's very nice.
We definitely don't want to be bamboozled.
That's a good one.
So, in terms of securing the morph, the biggest thing is obviously having bodies on it. So getting morphs. Synth morphs are fine, obviously. In fact, better for space, because space.
And if we wanted to, we could store the pennies in the body.
You could, yeah. It's actually pretty easy to smuggle it now that I think about it.
Because, it's just metal.
It's just metal.
You know, I remember a story from Old Earth where somebody found a couple of these and their little child swallowed them. Mm-hmm. And they came out all right in the end.
So the question is, at least one of you, in order to smuggle it, you can call in enough favors to create a smuggling compartment inside a synth morph. Not a case morph. You definitely want at least a baseline synth morph, a standard robot body. You need at least you really can't trust this to any outsider. You can't really subcontract this because so at least one of you has to go. And by that I mean fork yourself, because obviously you got to remain here and do crimes unless you're taking a break of absence.
So,
all right, so you're going to do it. Fork yourself. So you need a synth morph body. Do you have any moderate favors left?
I have all of my moderate favors open except for the C.
Okay.
So I've got a G or an F.
Probably G would work better to get a discrete robot body that you could modify a little bit.
Let's go with the G.
Okay. And obviously...
40 right on the nose.
Okay. So you get a robot body you basically borrow a robot body long enough, a synthmorph body long enough to make the trip and back. I'll look up the travel times. It's in the Rimward. So the thing is, that's the bare minimum to do it. What else are you going to put into this to serve this going right? Other people can go as backup. You could fork yourself multiple times and have multiple copies of yourself guarding it. And then you, of course, have to pay for passage on a spaceship to go back there. Do you have any skills that would be helpful on a spaceship, to work your way back, essentially?
I could call in a favor to get a synth morph of my own.
Yeah.
Well, I've got InfoSec and I've got guns. Would either of those be useful on a ship?
InfoSec not so much because there's not a lot of hacking on a ship in deep space, because who's going to be, if the hacking's coming from inside the ship and you just go over to the cargo compartment and throw them out the airlock if they're hacking you. Guns means you're hiring yourself on as a bodyguard or a mercenary or a shooter, which means you're going to be shooting somebody and get shot at, which is really not good if your body is literally carrying priceless Earth artifacts.
Yes.
So
I've got a lot of persuade and deceive. So I was actually seeing send me because I can actually fake just being a normal person.
Well, you can just go as a passenger. You don't have to pay your way. I mean, it's just cheaper to go if you work. So you can just go as a passenger, which is fine. But that's going to eat into your budget a little bit. So eventually, you're all going to go in a little debt on this operation to do that. So yeah, give me a G-Rep favor.
So, I have another idea too.
I was actually considering R-Rep research.
Sure.
Know people in the industry.
Yep.
Nope, can't even flip that.
Okay.
Well, I have another possible for a way to make this a little more safer with RF. We could see if we can get transport on a ship that's coming back from maybe a gate crashing expedition, research materials or research one, so that we store on there saying that we're going we're going back with other research materials as well. So basically, calling a safer transport favor.
Sure.
Okay. All right. And then would that be moderate or
definitely moderate?
Moderate. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Failed it by 7. So
can you flip it?
Yeah. What would we flip that with? Moxie or
Flex?
Moxie. Yeah, I'll definitely flip that. So
okay. So you put you get passage on an Argonaut vessel, or one chartered by Argonauts. So they're cool. And since you're synthmorphs, you take up very little space, so you're basically in the cargo space.
Actually, I get that because there's still SAIROCs on there. So
sure. Does anybody else have any moderate favors they can call in to get Neil a robot body?
I could try. I could try G-Rep.
All right, try G-Rep.
All right. That hits with a crit.
Oh, cool.
22.
All right, so you get an upgraded body, one with like industrial armor, so the two of you won't be able to take weapons, but like you can have weapons made when you're on the moon, or have the Argonauts make you some weapons because they have a fabber on the ship. That'll be something for your forks to deal with. So is anybody else going to go or send a fork?
I'm not forking for very specific reasons. So
okay,
I don't like forking myself.
All right, you don't have to. Are you doing anything else to help secure their passage, like Lawrence?
Security ops.
Okay.
Figure out just figure out help them out any way I can.
Okay.
32.
Okay, you help them get to the ship safely, and help make sure the compartment is going to defeat scans. So yeah. But once they get on that ship, they're going far away.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use a little resources to get them new IDs. So there's a third set of them. So, you'll find out if you get to sell the pennies later because it's going to take time for them to get there. And your forks may be messaging you really like, oh God, we kind of need some favors called in. There's been a boo-boo. So... but the Zemo 2 can come up with cover stories, and Nil can help provide distractions. And
it's actually Zero Mandate.
Zero Mandate. Oh, very good. So Zero Mandate and Nil 2 will go off and see what happens.
I believe in them.
I believe in them too. So yeah, that ends. Yeah, Pennies for your morph. So the only other thing is you complete your second job, and then you let's see here. All of you leave your little restaurant, your front at various times in the day. So everybody roll a d10.
Okay.
2.
9.
5.
4.
2. Mm-hmm. All right, Lawrence, this is so you're all vaguely aware of each other. You're all sort of keeping tabs on each other. That's when where would you be going when you're leaving the building to go? What kind of errands would you be running, or like what do you do for fun, or like what I can make up a reason if you can't.
Actually checking out the latest from like the agridomes and things like that.
Okay, so like browsing the food markets.
Yeah.
Like the actual. Okay. So you're doing that. Give me a perception check with -10.
Yes, 29.
Okay. There's a guardian angel drone right above you, and it's just hovering over you, and it's got a. Well, do you have hardware robotics?
I do not.
Okay. It kind of looks like it's got a weird payload or something on it, and then something just falls out of it towards you.
Dive out, get out of the way.
All right.
Athletics.
It's a fray.
33 critical.
Jesus. Okay. It misses, but it's an acid grenade. It just goes out of the market. You're almost hit with it, but yeah, you expertly dodge out of the way. So, yeah. You also, your G-Rep, suddenly there's a huge influx of negative messages, like, hey, your G-Rep goes down by 5. There's a lot of messages like, you motherfucker, we'll kill you. How dare you, fucker, you shit, you piece, and so, who was the next highest number? Well, that's what you do. Do you tell the others?
Yeah.
All right.
I had a 9, so I'm the highest, so.
Okay, so you all get this message, and all your G-Reps start going down. In fact, you all get a coordinated attack. All of your G-Reps go down by 5 points.
Jeez.
Okay, is there a way to combat that?
Nope. It's social reputation. You can, you make a knowledge criminals, knowledge black markets, or call in a minor favor to be like, what the fuck is happening? Why am I being hit by this?
Okay, knowledge black markets.
Okay.
Same.
I know nothing.
Okay.
I succeed barely.
Okay.
I got a 34 or a 38 out of 40.
Okay. Steven Squawking was supposed to meet with one of you last night. He didn't say who, but now his body has been found, mutilated, ripped up, his cortical stack melted, and his backup file is damaged. They're going to have to do heavy psychosurgery if they're going to be able to restore him at all. And everyone's looking at you. None of you remember meeting with him or even messaging him.
Winston,
Does somebody else have
what were my whereabouts for last night?
Well, if you want to, whatever they should be. Now, if you want to investigate, that's going to be a secret agenda. But it looks like whoever is the traitor in your midst is escalating things and making things bad for everybody.
So, Ross, I would like to mention, take a look at what I sent at the start of this session.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I can't check this. Okay.
So I'm going to be checking in on that.
I'll give you an update over messaging. So it did not, whatever you set up was not enough to intercept this, whatever this was.
Well, since it was mainly aimed at surveillance, I want to know who was supposed to be squawking, and I want to know who did.
The biggest problem is that you cannot, even as skilled as you are in InfoSec hacking, it would be very hard for you to surveil all other seven members of your cartel without them knowing. So that is the problem. If somebody sent a direct message to Squawking, hey, come here, we need to talk. Squawking trusted you all. And yep. So that's where we leave off. But yeah, so that will be your secret project. And yeah, anyways, we'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
See ya.